Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Bread and Breakfast. And today, in our morning devotion, we will be tackling about the book of James, and we are now in chapter 1. But before that, let me lead you in a short prayer. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this day, and I thank you, Lord, for the strength that you've given us, even our lives. Panginoon, na binigay mo sa amin ngayong araw na ito. Father, I pray that as I speak your word today, may you hide behind your cross, oh God, and may these people see you and only you, Panginoon, sa araw nito. Father, I am lifting everything to you, Lord, and this all pray in Jesus' name. Amen. And so we are now in James chapter 1, and I entitled this chapter as Following God in a True Christian Way of Living. Now in verse 1, it says here, James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes scattered among the nations, greetings. This is the letter of James to all the early Christian churches in their times. So itong letter na to, James, ay para sa mga Christian community, Christian people, the Jews and even the Gentiles nung mga panahon nila. It says here in verse 2, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds. My point 1 is rejoice even in the midst of trials. And because it says here, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. Now, when we internalize and when we really realize what James wants us to see in this verse, parang naisip ko nga when I read this verse, I feel like there are so many things that God wants us to do, like impossible things, that even crazy stuff, like, okay, you need to love your enemies, okay, you need to do this, you need to become like this, and like that, and it's really hard. Now, in this text, God is saying to us, and James is saying to the Christian community, to us, that we need to consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds. And it feels like, how can I face, or how can I consider things in my life, like how can I consider it pure joy when I face trials? And we all know that when we face trials, we all feel depressed, we all feel down, we all feel weak when we have trials in our lives. When we are facing trials in our lives, it's really hard to even feel happy, to even feel joyful in the midst of trials. But James is saying to us today that consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. And you know what? I just realized that James told us these things because it is not literally means na kapag may problema tayo ay magsaya tayo. This is not what James is trying to say to us. Hindi niya sinabi na kapag kinakaharap natin ang mga problema natin, rejoice. Kapag may problema ka, magsaya ka. Kapag may pagsubok sa iyong buhay, magsaya ka. O dapat ganito ang maramdaman mo, dapat maging masaya ka. No. But James is saying to us that we need to look after the results. We need to look forward on the results na pwede nating makuha, and even the learnings na pwede nating makuha whenever we face trials. Because it says here on the following verses, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So it clearly says that when we are facing trials in our lives, we rejoice. We consider it as pure joy because God wants us to be tested. God wants us to be mature, to be complete, and to not lacking anything. Kasi yun nga, when we face trials, when we face testings in our lives, this makes us stronger. This makes us mature in how to deal with so many things in our lives. So, hindi po siya literal na pag sinabing, magsaya ka, or consider it pure joy when you are facing trials, doesn't literally mean that you need to be happy when you have problem. But no, you need to be happy, or you need to have this joy in your life, because you know that God wants you to learn something, that God wants you to see something, that God wants you to be mature, and that God wants us to be pruned by Him. So in the point 1, rejoice in the midst of trials. That we need to rejoice. This is the right attitude of the Christian in every situation na meron po tayo nakakaharapin natin. That every trials na pagsubok na pwedeng mangyari sa atin, na pwede nating kaharapin sa ating mga buhay. Sabi ng Panginoon, no, always know that I am with you and I know everything. Always know that I will be with you and I will never leave you nor forsake you, says God. That's what the Lord is saying to us. Therefore, we need to really put that in our hearts, that when we face trials, okay, I know that this is the testing of God. This is something that there is something that God wants me to see, that God wants me to learn in this situation that I am in right now. The second point is resist temptation, for God tests our faith and not provoke us into temptation. It says here in verse 13, when tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does He tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desires and entice. Then, after desire is conceived, it gives birth to sin, and when it is full grown, gives birth to death. Ayan. So, in our point 2, resist temptation, for God tests our faith and not provoke us into temptation. And when we are being tempted, huwag po nating sasabihin that God is tempting us. When we are being tempted to sin, hindi po natin sasabihin sa ating sarili na, baka it's just a temptation that comes from God. Always remember po that test of faith is different from temptation. And nung naging Christian po tayo, we all know, and it is very common to us, that when we became Christian, our life is not the bed of roses na sinasabi po nila. It's not full of fantasies. It's not magic. It's not something na, okay, I am good now. Okay na ako. I am safe na ako kasi I am a Christian. God is with me. Then therefore, okay, life is very easy. Hindi po ganun yun. But when we became Christian, most of the testimonies po na aking narinig, when they become Christian, their lives became hard. At alam po ba natin kung bakit? Because the enemy really tries his best to steal away us from God. Steal away yung focus natin sa Panginoon. Kaya naman, gagawin lahat ng kaaway upang tayo ay mabalik sa kanila. And even twisting our minds like that, na yung sinasabi nilang, mahirap ang maging Christian. Mahirap ang maging Kristiyano. Because there are so many trials that I am facing every day. Really, every day is a battle in our lives. In the Christian lives, every day is something that we need to really see as a battle in the Spirit. That's why every day, we need God in our lives. And it says here that lahat po ng temptation na darating sa atin, it doesn't come from God, but it comes from the enemy. And one thing, the enemy really, tempts us dun sa weakest point po natin. All this, kumbaga, ang kaaway po ay magaling kasi even before we were born into this world, they are here. So, every actions, kahit po yung pagpikit ng ating mga mata, paggalaw ng ating mga labi, mga gestures natin, they know what we are thinking. Kasi nga po, matagal na silang namumuhay dito sa earth, matagal na silang nag-o-observe ng tao. And when you become Christian, ayaw po ng kaaway yun. So, definitely, they will do something para mabalik ka sa kanila. Or para mag-twist yung pananaw mo sa Panginoon, mag-twist yung isip mo, at sabihin mo, ang hirap namang maging Kristiyano. Ang hirap namang mamuhay na lagi na lang ganito. Parang sobrang hirap, ang daming pagsubok, ang daming temptations na aking nararanasan. But you know what? God is saying to us today, that if we feel that way, ask God and say to God, Lord, I need you. The Lord always say to us that we need to endure everything. We need to endure everything. How can we endure everything? So that we need God. We need God first in our lives. And we need His help. That's why every day we need to really pray so hard and really say to God, come to God and say to God, Father, I need you today. Please come. Father, I need you so that I can resist temptations in my life today. Lord, come and guide me. Lord, help me on what to do. Father, I ask for the Holy Spirit to come and fill me. That's our prayer every day. So that we really overcome everything that the enemy na ibabato pa ng kaaway sa atin. So we really need God in every day in our lives. That's what James is saying to us today. And then my third point is we need to accept rebuke in our lives. And God rebukes His people because He cares for His people, because He loves His people. And rebuke comes in different ways. Pwede pong rebuke comes through His Word. When we read His Word, we get rebuke. Pwede rin in our surroundings, sa mga nakikita natin, and even events in our lives. And pwede rin, and most of the time, we are being rebuked by the people around us, by the authorities that we have in our life. And it says here in verse 19, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth, of the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. Now, one Christian characteristic is that we need to listen. We need to accept rebukes in our lives. Now, upon reading this chapter, I myself got rebuked as well, because there are so many times in my life po that I am being rebuked by my authorities or by the people around me. And you know what po, kapag nare-rebuke ako, when people say something that is not accepted sa akin, sa pandinig ko, sa aking pananaw, I always feel angry. And alam niyo po, habang nagsasalita itong taong ito, nakausap ko, is that I accumulate things in my mind, and I say, okay, nagre-ready na po ako na mag-rebat. Magre-ready na po ako ng ano ba ang sasabihin ko dito. No, or I rebuke his words, his or her words sa akin. And I'm gonna say, no, hindi mo ako kilala, hindi ganito, ganyan, and everything. Pero, ang nga po, upon reading this word, it says here na Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. In this text, James is saying to the Christians, or to the Jews and Gentiles, that we need to become slow to anger. There are times that we need to be angry on the things na mag-accumulate or on the things that we are facing. But there are times then, or pwedeng sabihin natin most of the time, we need to tame ourselves. We need to become slow to anger. Ayan. So, when someone is saying things to us, when we are being rebuked by God through someone, then we really need to listen. Yun nga, sabi ko po kanina sa inyo, I am always rebuked by my authorities, and I realized that I'm really a hard-headed person. With this text na nabasa natin ngayon sa James, I feel that I am really a hard-headed person. Though I don't know if I express it through actions or something, but I always get angry when people rebuke me, because these are the things that I don't want to hear. These are the things that I really believe that it is not me. When someone says something na tingin ko ay hindi ako, then I don't accept their words. But actually, these people see what I can't see in myself. And I just realized that I really need to be thankful to these people that God is saying, God is using for me to become mature, for me to become a better person. And I know that this is the love of God. This is the love that comes from God, because He is using people in my life for me to become a better person. When we are being rebuked, James wants us to know that, okay, when someone is talking to you, you should listen. Huwag kang mag-isip ng kahit na anong bagay. Huwag po tayong mag-isip ng kahit na anong bagay against this person. Or we really need to listen to everything na sasabihin niya, or and even not to butt in. Kasi mahilig po tayong gano'n, that kapag nakarinig po tayo ng negative things na sinabi sa atin, then we butt in. Ay, hindi, ganito, ganyan. But James is saying to us today that we really need to have this spirit of listening in our lives. We need to accept rebuke in our lives. We need to listen. And listening is different from hearing. Yan. So, ako din po, sa self ko, I always consider myself as an obedient, darlings, obedient na tao. Kasi, I always obey. When I hear something, I obey. When they say something na ganito, okay, I obey. But actually, I don't understand what they are saying to me. That's why most of the time, when things got wrong, when things, kapag may mga nangyayari na hindi naaayon sa result na inaasahan ko, I always feel disappointed. I always feel get angry to these people. Because the thing is, I just hear the word, I just hear it, but I don't listen. It's just merely saying that parang reading with comprehension po yun, that we need to read and comprehend. Not only read the thing, read the text, read the word, but also we need to comprehend. There is reading with comprehension. So yun, parang ganun din po yun, that we need to listen. Listen. And that's the thing that I want to, na matutunan ko din po sa aking sarili, that I really need to listen. Listen to God, listen to my authorities, listen to the people na nasa paligid ko. Because I always talk po. I am a very talkative person. And because I'm a very talkative person, I always want to be heard. I always want na ako lang magsasalita, ganito, ganyan. Ako lang. But the thing is, yun nga, James is teaching us today that we need to also listen. Accept rebukes in our lives. And last in our point is that we as Christians need to be the doers of the word. Of course, when we listen to the word, then we need to be the doers of the word. Now, we need to imply, or we really need to perform what is being heard, or we really need to gawin kung ano man yung sinasabi sa atin. Like, for example, in our lives, we always say, okay, I believe God. God heals me. God heals the same 2,000 years ago. I am being healed 2,000 years ago. Ako ay pinalaya na ng Panginoon. But when the problems came, when trials come, when temptations come into our lives, we easily get swayed. We easily worries on the things. And lahat po ng parang narinig natin, lahat ng na-implant, na itanim sa atin ng mga salita ng Panginoon ay nawala whenever we are facing things or circumstances sa ating buhay. Pero sabi niya dito that we need to be the doers of the word. Ito po yung madalas na naririnig po natin that we need to practice what we preach. We need to practice our faith. We need to exercise our faith. Ito po yung sinasabi niya dito that in our lives, there are times in our lives na diba sabi ng Panginoon na even His Word, sabi ng Panginoon na do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own thing. But it's really hard for us, humans and Christians, not to worry on what will going to happen tomorrow, kung ano ba yung pwedeng mangyari bukas, na baka wala ka nang makain, or baka yung iba sa atin feel that there is no hope for us tomorrow. But God is saying to us today, oh, you need to have faith that even if you feel na wala ng pag-asa, you need to act and do things as if you know that God is working already. As if you see that God is working already in your life. And so we need to be the doers. And sabi niya po dito, sabi niya in verse 26, those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceives themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. And in verse 25 says, but whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. So when God says, okay, you need to preach the gospel to anyone. You need to share the good news to anyone. You can heal the sick. You can pray for these people. And God is saying to us today that we should not forget everything that God has implanted into our hearts. We should not forget everything, the promises of God, lahat ng pangako ng Panginoon sa atin, and even His commandments sa atin. And hindi lang po natin kinalimutan or hindi lang po natin narinig, but we do all these things. Therefore, we will be blessed in what we do. It says in verse 25, well, these things na sinabi ng Panginoon that hindi po dapat tayo makontento na tayo po ay tagapakinig lamang. Hindi hindi po dapat tayo makontento na kung ano tayo noon ay ganun na lang, ganun pa rin po tayo ngayon after hearing His Word. Pero sabi ng Panginoon that we need to really do the Word na ibinigay po sa atin. We really need to be doers of the Word. Kaya naman po sa ating buhay, nararapat lamang at naaayon na ating gawin ang mga salita na ating narinig. Kailangan natin intindihin mabuti. Kailangan natin sumunod sa lahat ng ipinag-utos sa atin ng Panginoon. Though it's really hard. Parang yun. Parang dun sa point 1 pa lang natin that we need to rejoice in the midst of every trial. Na kailangan natin mag-rejoice in the midst of every trial. That we need to consider it your joy when we are facing trials. Diba parang ang hirap po when we face trials. Okay, this is the right attitude of the Christian, of a true Christian, that I need to consider it as pure joy because I know and definitely will know that God is preparing something for me. God wants me to learn something from this situation that I am in right now. Therefore, I need to rejoice. I need to be excited on what God is preparing for me. And so, let's pray. Father, we thank you, Panginoon, sa iyong mga salita sa araw na ito, Panginoon. Salamat, O God, for all your words na ibinigay mo sa amin. And I pray, Lord, that may you teach us, O God, to really do what you want us to do. Father, may you teach us to be open, Panginoon, for all the gifts in our lives and to really cling, Panginoon, sa iyo and to really rely on you, on your words, oh God. Father, I thank you for we know that you know everything, oh God. For we know that even our future, oh God, you know our future and you have better plans for us, oh God. So Father, I pray that they will lift, Panginoon, everything, oh God, our trials, every circumstances that we are in right now, everything, Panginoon, the hardships that we are in, oh God, Father, I pray that may give us the strength, Father, to overcome all these things, oh God, and may you come and be with us in every trials, oh God, na aming kakaharapin sa aming mga buhay, oh God. I thank you, Lord, for your word today. I thank you, Lord, for truly you are a great, great God, Panginoon, and truly ikaw, Panginoon, ang aming titignan, Panginoon. Ikaw ang aming Panginoon na mapagmahal, Panginoon, at mapagkalinga, Panginoon, sa kanyang mga anak. So, Father, I thank you, and to you I bring back all the glory, honor, and praises